Fancy meeting you out here. Shocking.
Oh, like, what are we thinking?
Hey folks, this trip was supposed to start tomorrow morning.
What?
I'm talking to the folks. So yeah, this was supposed to start tomorrow morning. They're calling for a storm, so instead of canceling, which would be the normal thing to do, we decided to head up early so we could set up camp and kind of sit through it. So we're going to be here 2 nights, hopefully. We're going to see how it works out. I'm going to try a new setup, which is probably the dumbest idea I've had in a long time, among a lot of dumb ideas. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Thanks a lot for coming along, folks. Oh. Hi, Simon.
What's shaking?
You're live.
I know.
Where are you? Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Is he? He is. He's live. Yeah, so heading out to the site. Right now we're on the trail. Calling for -13 tonight. Gonna be a nice, chilly, crisp night. We're gonna get there, try to set up camp. Simon's got his 4-season tent, which is a MEC light field. I'm gonna be setting up using a tarp and what's left of the previous hut shelter that we had built. So we'll see how it works out. I'm not overly confident. My track record is not strong, but we'll see how it goes. To do. There's the base of my site for the night. Gonna be using a tarp that I use on a Hennessy hammock. That's what I'm gonna be using for the cover. I'm gonna build it like an A-frame. I'm gonna put a little ridge line between the 2 trees, and then we're gonna put some snow over the sides of the tarp and provide as much protection as we can. There we go. Good spot. Stay a little bit back. It's a bit open at the front. Right now there's no wind. I don't think it's going to be too windy tonight, I'm hoping. But I'm going to set myself up as far back as I can. Build up a little wall there, but I'm sure it won't be enough if the winds do pick up. See what happens. More to come. Still got to put down the reflective sheet that I have here as a base. I brought 2 foam mats to roll out just because they're a little bit shorter than the sleeping bag, and I got to make sure that absolutely no moisture gets on it. So I'm gonna overlap them and then yeah, set up the Neo Air, and I'll probably wait till later before going to bed to try to keep the sleeping bag moisture free as long as I can. So what we got so far should be interesting. I've never camped in the winter time without a complete shelter. I've done it in the summer, spring, and fall. Just done it underneath the stars, but this is the first time using just a tarp in the winter. I'm a fool. I'm a fool, Simon. I'm a fool.
Oh, no, Mike, this is perfect. I mean, it's open on all four sides. You've got some cover over top, and I mean, it's just like the spring, summer, and fall. You're underneath the stars. It's just this time there's a bit of snow underneath you. And there's a blizzard expected with a bit of freezing rain tomorrow, but I'm sure you've got it all covered.
Oh, ye of little faith.
Don't worry, I don't charge much to stay in the light field.
Yeah,
Don't take debit,
go take a
though.
look over here. This is where Simon's all set up.
I don't take debit.
He's got a nice little setup here. It's too bad the camera doesn't pick it up. I just got a little candle there on the tree. See the glow on the side. And this is his tent. He's got a nice little spot here. Nice and sheltered, even if the winds do pick up. Really nice. Awesome spot. It's a good tent. It's a really good tent. Got one as well. Came close to bringing it. Probably should have brought it. Would have been smart, but I wanted to challenge, try something different. Very cool. And a fire pit here. It's a miniature ice rink. So what we're going to be doing is, because Simon and Jean share the tent with Sandra and I, we keep a set of bricks here for the wood stove. We share the hot tent, of course. And so we keep a set of bricks here for the wood stove, which is going to make a nice little base, keep it off the ice and frost. So hopefully we can get a fire going and start warming up. It's getting chilly, starting to feel it. And so next priority is to get that fire going.
Hopefully we can get enough flame off of that. We're going to cheat a bit. We've got a lighter today, but hopefully we can get enough flame off of that to heat the pile up and get going. But what with it being about minus 13 or 14 Celsius, these things tend to take a bit of time and some patience.
Alright folks, so we're pretty much done most of our chores for the night. Bundled up on some extra layers, nice some heavy duty ski pants and nice full windbreaker. Simon's doubled up as well. We're going to be setting up a tarp above us, so for tomorrow morning they're calling it a mix of weird temperature. We're going to have snow in the beginning and turning to freezing rain, then freezing rain again. So we want to make sure that since we're probably going to be hunkered down here because the roads around here are going to be totally bonkers, so we're going to try to make sure we're as comfortable as we can, set up a tarp, and hopefully we can keep the fire going. Going good right now. Yeah, it's a chilly night, but we're having a good time sitting by the fire. Got our tarp set up for the night, and hopefully if the weather is bad tomorrow we can still sit out here and just relax and enjoy the fire, enjoy the peace and quiet. What do you think, Simon?
My main thing is when I get up in the morning, I like to get the kettle boiling and get some water warmed up for breakfast and coffee and tea and stuff. So having a bit of shelter if you're expecting inclement weather is definitely helpful. We'll see what happens though. We fly by the seat of our pants as we're an adventurous couple of guys. And yeah, we're not expecting much fire. It looks pretty, but it's not throwing much heat.
No, you can really feel the chill. Actually looking kind of forward to jumping into the minus 20 sleeping bag, getting nice and warm, and pray to somebody that the winds don't pick up.
I've got a lock on both ends of my tent there, so Mike's going to have to pay the toll to come on board. But no, I got lots of room. In the tent I put down the silver sheet underneath, the reflective sheet, and then got a blue foamy and my thermarest. So even though you're on a couple foot of snow maybe, you stay fairly warm underneath, and that's a major bonus. So
we got a -20 sleeping bag for my loft. I've got my Neo Air, the 2 foam pads, and the reflective sheet. So there's a fair gap here. So I think we do have a spare green tarp here. We're just gonna drape it across, see if we can make it taut, and just because you know, they're calling for a lot of snow in the morning and potential rain and all that, so I want to make sure we're fully covered.
Mike's setup is pretty good. He's got the insulation and everything you'd want underneath your sleeping bag. A well insulated sleeping bag down to -20 Celsius. And the fly over top is great. The only thing is he forgot the walls and, and the front door and the back door, but apart from that, it's looking good, and it wouldn't be too bad, you know, spring, summer, fall, as long as it's not bug season. This sort of setup works just fine. The snow that we're going to get overnight, leading to freezing rain and probably rain at some point tomorrow if it warms up enough, this sort of setup could be problematic. but we'll see what happens.
I think it'd be fine till the morning. They're only calling for freezing rain starting somewhere close to noon. But I mean, since we do have the other tarp, we might as well take advantage of it.
So we've got the revamped chicken shack here. We put a green tarp over it to close in the sides a little more. Snow on the edge to hold it down. And yeah, just missing doors at this point. It's got walls now, so that's a good thing. Mike's got the candle in there. It never hurts to burn a candle in your tent overnight, assuming it's protected enough.
Yeah.
Keeps the damp off.
Ideally, I'd like to have it hung on the ridge line, but unfortunately I put my ridge line a little bit too low. So more than likely I'm just going to blow it out when I go to bed. Safety. But might take a little bit of the dampness off the sleeping bag before I go to bed. Okay, so the other battery died. So I said I'm just gonna put all my gear inside. Night, Simon. I'm just gonna throw my gear inside the sleeping bag, the inserts for the boots and everything. Oh, I think it's gonna be a pretty good night. I mean, it feels like a tent. Anyway, thanks a lot for joining us, folks. We'll see you guys in the morning. Have a great night. Well, morning, folks. Survived the night. She was chilly, but it was nice and cozy in here. The only place that was cold was the base. Other than that, that's comfortable. The wind's never picked up. It's snowing a little bit right now, and just gonna get up and go get some water down from the source and cook up some coffee and maybe something to eat.
boiled up some water. It took a couple of minutes, and so to have a nice hot chocolate here now, it's good to warm up the inside of the body as much as possible. Also brought some dehydrated Honeycrisp apples from home. These are really tasty. Give you some good energy in the morning, and we've also got some fruit leather in here, but we'll probably get into that later. Looking forward to the day. We'll probably tramp around the woodlot a bit. And the main thing is just to stay warm and dry, and weather will really drive what we do essentially. So looking forward to the day. We'll get a fire going here shortly and move on to whatever's next.
The microphone was on. I didn't hit record again. All that. All right. I'll do this again, a little bit quicker. People say I jabber too much anyway. So we were going to spend 2 nights. Unfortunately, the weather is not going to improve tomorrow. It's supposed to turn to freezing rain all day tomorrow. Right now, we're expecting a window of about 4 to 6 hours of just rain. It's supposed to go above freezing, so we're going to head out today to make sure we have safe roads to go home with. So this was our setup. Simon had his MEC Lightfield tent. It's a 4-season tent. Perfect for 2 people. It's a bit elongated, which gives you more room to store your gear, which is great in the winter times. There's always extra gear, and you want to keep it dry if you can. We had set up a tarp over there to keep the rain and snow off of us, also to keep some heat that would build from the fire. This was my shelter, as you've seen already. I've taken my gear out because when we thought we were going to spend 2 nights, I wanted to keep the gear dry, so I put it in Simon's tent. But now we're just going to pack her up. We're going to spend a bit more time here. There's no real rush to leave. So we're going to have a lunch and clean up spot and make sure everything's nice and tidy. Okay, so we need to bring up our fire up a little bit. I mean, we do have it smoldering here, so it's going to be really easy to get it going again. But we need to get some coals in there and some flame so we can boil our water. Right now, I'm going to try a little bit of redneck science. So got a little pump for my Neo Air. I'm going to try it out, see if we can get... I think this is working. Now we got little bellows here. Nice! Another reason to have a Neo Air. That was cool. That's awesome. Kind of figured it would work, but I didn't think it would work that well.
The hardwood kindling that Mike just put on there is actually white ash. Here's a piece right in front of you. The great thing about it is it splits well. It's a straight grain wood. In fact, if you look at it, it's got similar sort of grain as you'd see in the oaks. We don't have too many oaks around here, but we certainly have white ash and black ash. And when it's all dry and put on even just a bit of flame with the country bellows there, we're all set to start warming up some water to have a hot lunch.
So I have this old pot that I've been using for years, back country camping and all that. The one thing I don't like about it, this cover here is plastic. As you can see, it's been a bit too close to the flames before, so she's melted a bit. So we want to make sure I keep it away from the flames. Right now we don't have a good bed of embers, so I'm just going to keep it close to the fire to warm up the water, but this is probably not the point where we're going to bring it to a boil yet. We'll put her down here. Oop. There we go. Simon's got spaghetti, dehydrated spaghetti waiting. I'm just prepping up the old macaroni, chili macaroni. Here we go. Just bring the water up to level exactly where the top of the noodles are, basically flush to it, and then you let it sit for about 20 minutes. I brought this little bag here which acts as a bit of a sleeping bag for it, so it'll keep it nice and hot while it rehydrates. So we'll be able to fit both our meals in there. Right now it looks like our water is... Are we filming? Are you in there? Are you in the shot? Hope so. It's boiling. So this is gonna be hot. Ooh, here we go. I'm gonna bring her little meal sleeping bag here. I have my hot chocolate in waiting. It's fancy schmancy Bellagio hot chocolate. Lovely. There we go. You want me to put yours in there?
Yeah, that'd be great, thanks.
Okay. Now there's usually a drawstring here, of course. Lost it, but we can still keep this nice and warm. So, keep it here so it still gets some residual heat. There we go. About 15-20 minutes, depending on how al dente you like your pasta. We should be good to go. Hey, here we have rehydrated macaroni chili, or chili macaroni, whatever people call it. Looks absolutely perfect. Simon's got
Pretty good. There's not too much moisture left at the bottom of the container, so that's just how I like it, and it's nice and warm, so that's the main thing.
Alright, so we're just going to finish our lunch. The weather is starting to change. We're starting to see that mix of rain and snow, so we're going to be packing up soon. We would have liked to spend 2 nights, but I think we're making the right decision. It's going to be mixed precipitation all day tomorrow, so right now they're calling for an extended period of rain, so it's safer to drive home in today's condition. We're going to be back again next week. We're going to be bringing the hot tent. We're going to be 5 people, plus Gene and Simon are bringing their dog Elliot. So we're going to be bringing the Atuk Kanguk hot tent, and we're going to have a light field as well. Have plenty of room for everybody. Really looking forward to it. Thanks a lot for joining us, folks. We're going to have a little bit more video before the end of her, but just want to thank you guys for joining us. Thanks everybody for subscribing. It's great to see those numbers on the screen. I really appreciate it. Anyway, thanks again, folks, and we'll talk to you soon. About to do the teardown. Want to do a quick overview of the shelter that I had. We had set up a ridge line here, nice and taut, with a taut line hitch on the other side. Nice to keep it nice and tight. Have my Hennessy hammock extended tarp. It was a little bit too small to get full coverage, so we added this extra tarp. Had a couple of foam yellow mats, a reflective sheet, my Neo Air, and my -20 sleeping bag. Nice and warm all night. Great. Alright, so this is going to be it for filming. Rain's coming down pretty good. I don't want to leave my cameras in this wet weather any longer than I have to. So, see if we can get us both in the shot. A little bit foggy. Sorry folks, try that. So anyway, yeah, we're just going to pack up. Thanks a lot, folks, for joining us. Sorry it was abbreviated, but the next one's should be a full couple of days with the hot tent. Should be a good time. Again, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Hope to see you guys again in the next video. Take care, folks.
See you next week.